Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. So, today is 10th of December, uh, a few days away from 2025.
Christmas.
Yeah, 2025. And just to keep you all updated, um, we will have our next show next Wednesday. Then it is already Christmas. So, it's it's wonderful how times fly. So our dear friend Munir, he has some problems with the electricity,
Cyclones.
some wind cyclone in Curitiba. We have our cyclone here in Ireland. Yeah, here was very affected in the way the city I live. Yeah, a lot of floods and disruptions, but it's okay. Okay, so today, today we're gonna talk about year-end reflection, the soul's journey, preparing for a new cycle, and um, we will discuss how we need to be prepared, how what we can think, what we need to do. So it's good things. But first of all, good evening, Elsa. How are you, my dear?
I am I'm okay. Thank you, Stevan. Hello, Charles. Hello, dear friends. It is a great opportunity again to talk about some subject very interesting. But everyone, I think, reflect. Everyone waiting a little bit better next year. Everyone wants to do this and that, and we are in the same boat. But we need to go to the secure heaven port. And to reflecting about this team, of course, it's nice to talk, but it's nice if you have people chatting, writing, and tell us their expectation for the new year, and if they are reflecting about the past, present, and the future. So thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for having me again here. Thank
Okay.
you, Stephen.
Yeah. Bonsoir, Charles.
So, Steven, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Indeed, very happy to be here. Already 10th of December, no? Coming closer to the winter solstice. Huh? And okay, so it's always a period where we think about, where we make projects for the year to come, where we have a reflection, making also the balance what you have done. And this is indeed something very important to do from time to time, and in particular at the year end. You told it very wisely at the beginning. There is a hurricane or strong wind in Curitiba. There is also strong wind and rain in Ireland. What is it? Yeah, well, we know. Scientifically, everything is clear. With global warming, there is more, these events are occurring much more frequently than before. They always happened, but what happened once a century is now happening once a decade, and what happened once a decade is now happening every year. And tomorrow it will be happening several times a year. So this is also some points of reflection we have to have. What do we want? Do we want to make something, make our part at least, because this we can do. We are a consumer. Do we want to continue consuming like we were consuming in a non-sustainable way, or shall we think about? Spiritism is also about, Spiritist philosophy is also about that. To cut all what is superfluous and to limit the necessary as much as possible for helping our planet and helping also the ones who have not even the necessary. So all this is leading us, helping us to make this reflection, and it will be more and more, I think, in the years to come. So let's start training now.
Yes, yes. And I can start saying to us, uh, we always have the impression that's a new year, new thing. But for some people, it is just a change of the date because new year, old problems, old everything. But I don't like to see from this angle. I like to see from the angle we the angle that spiritism invite us to look ourselves from inside out and reflect in our journey, um, not just what's past in these previous 12 months, but how we responded to them. What was our behavior, the challenge we have had, how we reacted, what is what happened next, what you learned, question if you did I grow, what these scars needs to be healed. So we needed to explore this, and we can do this every time of the year, not just the end of the year, but the end of the year invite us because of the celebrations and all this, but we should do this every single day or every month or every week, and this is help us to reflect where we want to be, what I need to do, what I want to be as well. Um, we needed to understand that our next incarnation is starting today. My actions in this incarnation will define my next incarnation. So if you want things getting better, if you want things get sorted out, you don't have to suffer, or you want to have a in certain way a better life than you have today, great. This is a valid. But you need to act today in order to reap this in your next incarnation. It's not because you're going to next incarnation, everything's gonna be flowers. You will have challenges. You need to go under pressure to, especially to resolve things you did in this incarnation. So the bottom line is every single day, it is a new year, it is a new day. You do have, I would say, 20, 20 hours to do something different, but you need to do. Complaining don't will not take you to anywhere. So, Charles, I started to talk about some kind of self reflections, and I don't know. Could you put more it is in a context of the Spiritism view? Why the self reflection? It is crucial for us spiritists and for those who are listeners.
Yeah. I think you told it. Huh? We should. It's good to do it at least at the end of the year, but it's better to do it every day. That's true. And we know also, as per the Spiritist philosophy or body of knowledge, that the purpose of our incarnation, the purpose of our life, of being here, huh? What is it? The main purpose, the main objective is for our soul to grow in knowledge, grow also in goodness. Okay, so how can we grow? How can we become better? Yeah? The first step is the self-knowledge. Okay, and this is the object of the question 919 of the Spirit's book. So I really encourage you have the Spirit's book in English everywhere on internet now. Huh? You can download it very easily. I'm sure from Irish Federation or BUS. Kardec is exactly asking what is the most effective mean for improving ourselves in this life and for resisting the draw of evil. What is the best mean, the most effective way for us to reach this objective of our life? And the Spirit who answered was very simple. He said, a sage of the antiquity has told you, know thyself. Socrates, it's one of the teaching of Socrates. If you don't know yourself, if you don't stop from time to time to think about, did I change? What did I good? What did I bad today, yesterday? This you can do. Saint Augustine is saying he was doing it every night before sleeping, asking himself, did I fail to do some good I could have done, or whatever? Because one of the biggest problem nowadays is a lot of people are not. We have a trend as human to see the speck in the eyes of the others, but we do not see the beam which is in our eye, you know. So we hide our defects, our difficulties, looking to the same difficulty in the others. This theory of psychological theory of projection. And this is a way to escape to this advice, know thyself. And when we think about is indeed when we see when we hide our difficulties in seeing them in the others, how can we first accept we have also this difficulty, or we have also this defect, and how can we then work to overcome it and to solve it, or to reduce it, or to mitigate it, or whatever? We cannot. First, before doing something, you must first accept it. If you are in denying, unfortunately, the consequence will fall onto each of us, because we are simply delaying our evolution. And we will have to come back and come back and come back. We may even do bad things that we will have to repair later on, and so on. So the first way is exactly to have this, like we told today, year-end reflection, preparing for a new cycle, making new objectives, analyzing ourselves, listening to our friends, but not only. We should also listen to our enemies, because our friends, they will be kind with us. No, it's not so bad, and so on. But the enemy who said, you, he will put it, he will throw it in our face. And we have a lot to learn hearing our enemies. And this is helping us in doing this reflection, and also defining some strategies. In those moments, we are also inspired by our protecting spirit, which will help us in seeing, in understanding, and also in taking some decisions, some objectives, how little by little to overcome what we still have to correct in ourselves. So this year-end reflection is indeed something very fundamental, and you told it very wisely, Stevan. We should do it every day, and that's the way, the best way, the most efficient way, as Kardec, most effective way, as Kardec wrote, to work in our spiritual progress, which is the ultimate objective of our incarnation. Hello, Silvia. Welcome.
Beautiful. Hello, my
Silvia.
dear. How are you?
Hello, good evening. Hello. Nice to be here with you. Sort of
Good,
short
good,
notice.
good, good.
Always
But
nice, Silvia.
in time as always.
Thank you.
I'd like to say some words, Stevan. I was thinking here about
Sorry?
what Charlie said, yes. So I would like to say to our dear friends that will be here with us, and Silvia, and Munir, but Munir is struggling to enter the internet, is so weak there. So reflecting upon this theme for tonight, this topic, as we approach the end of another year, life invites us to pause, not with regret or anxiety, but with gratitude and spiritual awareness. The gospel and the teaching of Allan Kardec shows us that every circle in life is a chapter in our soul's eternal journey. And Kardec, I think the point of our books, Kardec reminds us that the present existence is only one step, one opportunity among many for our moral and intellectual growth. And the end of the year naturally brings us the chance to reflect on how we used this sacred time. What have you learned during the 2025? How have you loved? Where did we grow? And where can we grow more? Jesus taught us that the kingdom of God begins within. So the first step of any new circle is an inner one. It is the gentle work of looking into our own heart with honesty, compassion, and hope. Reflection is not self-accusation, it is self-illumination. When Charlie said, we see the speck in other people's eyes, you don't see the beam in our own eyes, is a true meaning that we should reflect first and see that what we are about to say, about to write, about to shout, maybe is totally wrong. We have to hold our horse, say in silence little bit more. Hold a message that you are about to send it to someone in accusation or under your own view. That is sometimes like that. Just one side of this beautiful prisma. And we should reflect more in order really do less mistakes and self-reflect, understand, and knowledge about ourselves more. We need the most to know ourselves in order really to reflect in a good way and see the points that we should make better for next year or should sometimes erase of our agenda or sometimes adding more things, but with conscience. Charlie said about a lot of smoke in climate change because our action is doing that. Yes, it is a result of our action in the past. If you act in a good way, the answer will be a good reaction or a good action, maybe say. But if you really don't think about and only use in the bad way every our resources, we will be lack of things for the future, and you will suffer the consequences. That is the law of nature, not no other way around. Okay, so I have more to say, but leave for later. I want to listen to you as well.
Grand. My dear,
Well, that's I think you spoke about this is a daily thing. Um, and it's interesting because sometimes we get to the end of years and you have all this resolution. Remember, I had the French used to write all this New Year's resolution, which by day 5 she had already forgotten about it. And I think most of us we do that. New year, going to do new things, but we forget that every day is a new day, is a new year, is a new opportunity that we have. And the point that Charles made of that question in the Spirit spoke about self-knowledge. I think this is so important. We should really read every day because it says every night I think of myself, what have I done today? Did I do anything bad? Have I offended anyone? And all sorts of things. And in a way, it's almost thinking, how has my life today affect somebody else's life? We forget that we are so connected with one another, and all everything we do, even our thoughts, affect other people. We forget how influential we can be, and what the people think as well even can change us. So if we ask a question that how did my behavior today affected somebody's life? Did I make their lives easier or harder? Was I kind? And how would I feel if someone had treated me or said to me what that person or whoever said to me today? And what was my reaction to something that someone said? This is very, very important because it's like to see yourself how you would react if someone would be treating you or behaving with you in the same way. It's very, very important. But in question um, of the Spirit's book 919, he says something here that I find very, very interesting, and of everything makes me think a lot, because he says, ask yourself the question, if it pleased God to call me back at this moment into the other life, should I, on returning to the world of spirits in which nothing is hidden, have to dread the sight of anyone? And when I read this, I think it's, oh my God, yes, because on the spiritual world, everybody knows how you feel, who you are, your thoughts. And would I be ashamed of anyone if I met anyone? And we see this in the Gospel according to Spiritism. So many of the lessons that the Spirits have left us in doing charity, in helping people. In what I think is in chapter 13, about don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. There is a passage in which this lady said, oh, I helped this person quite a lot when I was on earth, and now I look at this person and I am the one who have to ask for help, because that spirit was a very poor person that she helped, is in fact a very high spirit, a very enlightened spirit, and she feels that she needs to ask for help. And I think in everything we do as well as a spiritist, we see that that is also the spiritual dimension. How would I feel when I go to the spiritual world and meet someone that I mistreated or behaved badly? And I think this is very, very important, because every action that we do has a weight, has an effect on someone else. And sometimes things happen which makes us feel very to stop to think about our behavior. If I may, I'll give you an example. I was some time ago, a couple of years ago, in a spiritual center near me here where I live. And there was this beautiful young woman, a lovely girl, and she was with her boyfriend. And she came to me and she was always smiling and saying hello. And she was saying to her boyfriend, "Oh, this is the lady I told you about. This is the lady I told you about." And I was surprised. She was a beautiful girl. I didn't know her, I didn't recognize her, didn't know who she was. And then she said to me, "Do you remember? I was the daughter of that person," which I knew quite well. "And you used to play with me when I was a child. When I was 5, you read books for me, you talked to me, you played with me. And I always remember you." Which was very, and then, afterwards, so how wonderful, and everything, talk to her. And then I thought, oh my God, she remembers that I was kind to her. I gave her a lot of attention. I played with her. Imagine if I had done something bad, if I had, being unkind to her or mistreated her, she would remember. And, something like 20, oh, more than that. I mean, this nearly 40 years ago. Um, a, so many years have passed, and she remembered me, and when she saw me, she was really happy. And oh, and she had told me about me to this her boyfriend, her fiance. Actually, they were engaged. And then I thought, oh my God, if I had done something bad, she would remember as well. And I think that's one of the questions about asking ourselves every day what we've done, because I think quoted something from Jesus. He said, "Go and talk to your enemy while you are in the way with him, and then come and bring your offerings to the temple." And I think if you do it every day, if you hurt someone or you feel that you've done something, you're still with the person and you're still in time to apologize, to readdress the wrong, or to make it better, or even allow yourself to forgive someone, because we never forget sometimes things that happen to us that are not good. But um allow yourself to forgive and let go of things, because it all comes to us. This sort of example I gave was such an eye-opening for me, because usually I'm not a bad person, but I think that would make a big difference. And that horrible woman. So I think this is important for us, because we do affect other people's lives, and we should do it in a positive, in a loving way. I think as much as we can. Of course, we make mistakes, and we are only human, and sometimes we're tired or upset, and we're not as kind as we could be. But it's something that we can really think about it. So, I mean, some of my thoughts in thinking about the year, how it's gone.
Yeah, you touched something very important, Silvia, which is forgiveness. And both are important. Self forgiveness and forgive the others. So, this is something we need to do with those reflections, because sometimes we need to forgive ourselves. Sometimes very harsh with us, or sometimes we're very soft and we end up doing bad things. But the question here is, if you want to do a very good exercise in order to prepare yourself for what's coming new, why not starting with the truth? Why not starting saying the truth, working with the facts? Put yourself in the other shoes, and sometimes you're gonna ask for forgiveness. Sometimes you need to forgive as well. So we need to to start these kind of reflections, because when you forgive, you are freeing up yourself. Perhaps the person who harm you and you don't want to forgive, for some reason, perhaps that person didn't do what they did on purpose. They are not aware you are mad with him or her, but you keep feeding every single day that feeling inside of you, which won't take you anywhere. Of course, take you to the hospital, because keep feeding these sentiments will take you will give you a heart attack, probably going to take you to the something gonna bad gonna happen to you, but to you, not for the person who supposed offended you. So forgive, it is a very good step you must to do. So do you agree with this, guys?
Yes, and the best criteria is always the same. We have the hint since 2000 years now. When we are not sure, as you told it, Stevan, let's put it in the position of the other. Would I like to be treated like this? Would I like not to be forgiven? Would I like this or would I like that? And take this as a model, as an image for what we should do and onto the other, even if the other don't do it to us, you know. So we have all these methods, and now with the spiritist body of knowledge, we can put some reasoning onto it and to show how this is strong, how this helps us outstandingly in becoming a better person, in accelerating this evolution during this journey on Earth, because well, we have seen the things are becoming more difficult now, materially speaking. We will go in the world of regeneration. I think these material difficulties will even help into changing the paradigm, go from this consumerist, everything material, luxuous and superfluous stuff, to a more spiritualist paradigm with other type of values like fraternity and so on. And this is also something which is, how to say, awaking a little bit during the year end, because we visit our parents, our grandparents, the family, a pleasure to be together again, and so on. Of course, there is a lot of material stuff into it, but it's just up to us to really make use as much as we can of these moments to cultivate this fraternity and to help all the members of our family to follow also this track of evolution of our soul.
Can I say something regarding what Stevan spoke
Yeah.
about forgiveness? Forgiveness is something very serious, very important. It's a really an open door for us to have the freedom that things from the past, especially from ourselves, self-forgiveness. And from a spiritist perspective that you can bring now, forgiveness is related with the repentance, and self-forgiveness as well are essential steps for in our moral evolution. We must do it while we're awake in this physical body, And Allan Kardec explained in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 5, item 11, that every spirit is created simple and ignorant, destined to progress through experiences and choices that gradually awaken our conscience. The only way is to go. And repentance is the awakening of the conscience. It is the moment when we recognize that our thoughts, words, or action were not aligned with the law of love. Repentance, again, as was pointed, is not punishment. It is awareness. It signals that the spirit has advanced enough to identify its own imperfections. And Kardec says that sincere regret is the first step toward moral reparation. As Jesus said to us, talk with your brother before going to the altar and deposit your
Mhm.
gift there, your offering. So we must, before the end of the year, we can put a date because sometimes we are Kabbalistic, so we need the numbers, or need the boxes to put something in our mind in order to organize what we must do or not to do. But if you do the effort really to forgive someone, even 30 years ago, someone did something against me, and I holding here and holding my shoulders, this rubbish that you carry without forgiving. When you forgive, 100 kilos go out of our shoulder, but someone or person or even myself, in the past, could hold these 100 kilos of rubbish in my shoulder and be not critical and not to forgive. But when we forgive, really release this, we are free to walk, free to think, free to say, because we enter in a new phase of happiness. Happiness because we did something good for myself and for the others, because we cut this chain that link us with the things from the past that wasn't good for us, and you carry on until today. And the other person already evolved, is in another position, another beliefs, and we are holding the past in our shoulders. So the action at the end of the year should be repentance with things that should be renewing ourselves. Once we feel regret, we naturally desire to correct our course. Another way, this desire generates movement, new attitudes, new choices, new vibrations, because we have the freedom to go, freedom to see the different panorama, free to see the windows clean and not dirty, as we sometimes should in judgmental things against others. So we need more. We need more from ourselves. God gives us everything, but we need to have the lens clean in order to see where we are going, what we are doing, what we want for us for the future, and for today. Today is the future of the past, and tomorrow will be the future of today. So we
Mhm.
have to reflect. We have philosophical and moral teachings of Jesus to come to us in order to help us to grow, help us to be a better person tomorrow, a good person tomorrow. If not a good, but even a little bit better from today. But it's our destiny to evolve. No way to be stationary in the past. Grow is our our gift from God. That's it, more or less. Hmm?
Um, yes, very good. Now I want you to touch something, and that I think it's important to separate material growth against spiritual growth.
Journey, yeah.
So you desire prosperity, more money. It's okay, no problem. Everybody need money. We need to buy things. Unfortunately, or not, this we need money to survive, to buy food, to pay rent, to pay uh, everything. But at the same time, we need to keep aware of our spiritual growth, because everybody thinks, oh, another, I want a better job. I want this. I want it for, but in our spiritual growth, have you considered going to the mass, to the temple, to a spirit center? So you need to grow spiritually as well. It's everything connected, one with the other. So if you don't believe in anything, okay, but I bet you like to do something which give you peace. I know my dear Silvia likes to take pictures of the trees, but perhaps you like go to walk on a beach, just walk around the city and try to pay attention to people around you. Those are in hurry, those who are okay, but use your spiritual lens, put it on, and see differently. This is a spiritual growth, and this is important as well. You won't have a good health if you don't have a good spiritual balance. My dear Silvia, do you agree?
Yes, I was just thinking that that idea, um, mentis sana, corpus sano. If you have your
Yeah.
mind is clear, your body is healthy.
Yeah.
Um, yes, it's this is important, I think, the point you make, because we live in a material world. We need to have material things to survive, and it is important. And there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong in trying to strive for better, to have a better life. Um, I think this point is very important, because we grow in both sides, the two wings. We need to have that. But I think the point you made as well, we um, in striving to have a better life, having a more comfortable life, we must never forget our spiritual life, because we are in truth spirits living in a material world at the moment, living a material life. But most importantly, most of the time, we are spirits and we live in a different world. And the only thing we can take with us with our spirit is goodness, is the good we've done, is the what we've learned about ourselves, about others, and to really understand that we are connected with one another. um, and sometimes it's very difficult, I must say, to myself, to me anyway. Sometimes you read some news, you read some stories, and you think, how can I consider these people a brother or sister, you know? But then we are, because it's part of humanity that we have darkness within us, and some people, go more to this, and they are not read. I remember someone once, he had this, his son was 5 years old, and he heard about something, and the little boy asked him, "Why, daddy, why does that man did that?" And his father said to him, "Because he had not God in his heart." And I think that that's one of the things. If we have God in our heart, then the way we think, the way we behave is different. And I think there is this chapter in the Gospel, according to Spiritism, that is, the Spirit tells, live in the world where you are, with the laws of the world, and strive to things to live in this world. But don't forget, we don't want you to wear a hair shirt or beat yourself up. That's not thing. Laugh and be happy within the world you live, but never forget that God it's the purpose. And never, whenever you take a decision, we're going to do something, always think of God first. And that's will be, like the compass that will guide your life. That having the understanding that there is a father there, because although we understand God is an intelligence, but we know that we are part of that intelligence, we are part of this world. And when we do good, we connect to goodness, we help other people, even those who might have done something negative to us. When we are able, like you were saying before, the question of forgiveness, that sometimes is hard. And not everyone is in the same level. Some people are still very, very connected with power, and they don't mind destroying other people to impose their power, because God just still doesn't live in their hearts. But if you feel that, and I think the Spiritism knowledge really shows us that God lives within us, then the way we live is different. We'll be judged in a different way. To those who have much, much to be asked of them. And then the question of being able to forgive and see those people that we sometimes we despise, but as brothers that have lost their way. And one day they will come back to the right way, because that's the destiny, enlightenment of every single uh, being. We are going to be spirits of light, because we are already. We just, polishing a little diamond within to be pure light. So, a compassion, understanding, love to ourselves. And I think that the greatest teaching of Jesus, love your neighbor as yourself. He's not saying go out there in the world doing good and helping others, but he says you start with yourself first. Is the only way to reach out and to help. And maybe those people who are still lost, in seeing the way you live, in seeing the way you are able um, to show that you can forgive, that you are compassionate, that you are understanding, they will learn. It's the little seeds that goes around. And we have to be hard on ourselves as well, because it's already been said today that sometimes we judge others harshly, but we don't judge ourselves, and in doing the same things, because in psychology we tend to transfer to others what we don't like in ourselves. So when you see someone that really annoys you, it's because you do the same thing, you're transferring to them. So it's all part of the whole, isn't it? So um, but it doesn't mean also that you have, in being forgiving and being compassionate, does not mean as well that you would not take people to law and have them, go being judged and go to the law of men, because we need to save society, but we pray for them, and that's the way. And to those we can, we forgive. And when we are able to ask forgiveness as well of the things we do. So I think coming towards the end of the year, which is, for me, it was being a very, very hard year, this being extremely painful. I'm looking forward to the new year with a little more joy, but I think this is a every day. In reality, I mean, almost every moment, because we don't know if maybe this minute, this hour will be the last of our hours here on earth, you know? So we need to do it every day, isn't it? Every moment, to be conscious that God lives within us. It's like quoting Paul, isn't it? I no longer live, but it's Christ who lives within me. And if we are able to do that, I think our lives is a lot easier, isn't it?
I
I don't
think
know
I go
what
with
you
Silvia
think.
now. What you said now, Silvia, is really beautiful. The quotation from Paul Tarsus. So we can do a deal between us, between the audience and us, and between everybody. So Tonight, let us invite the light of Christ, Jesus, to enter our inner home. Let us thank God for everything that life allows us to experience in 2025. The joys, the challenges, the lessons, and the opportunities to love. Okay? Because this is the way. Yeah? And let us step into the new year not as someone starting from 0 point, but, but as someone continuing an eternal journey, wiser than before, more peaceful than before, and more committed to spreading the light of moral teachings that come from Jesus throughout the Spiritism. So I'd like to say my final words already now. May Jesus bless each one of us, and may the spiritual benefactors guide us steps as we prepare with faith and serenity for the new cycle that begins. That is, much love for everyone, Stevan. I anticipate my bye bye.
Okay, Charles.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm maybe repeating myself a lot, because indeed, once if we think about the things we are sure of, is one day we will go to the other side, go back. So either for some, there is nothing anymore after, and for the spiritualists, our soul goes back to the spiritual realm, and our physical body stays here on earth, being recycled by nature. And the other thing we are sure is we don't take with us our all what we got through ambition, or you have so many people with so important roles around the world, but you see them changing. They die, or they even lose in this life and whatever. So all these are temporary stuff. Even wealth is temporary. You can lose it from one day to the other. And the day you go back to the spiritual realm, anything will anyhow stay here. So again and again and again, what's most important in us is our soul. This is what we keep. So we should work on this soul. We should really use this world end reflection to cultivate this soul, to bring something, to do something in this life that we will take with us also for sure. As we have demonstrated it in the life we are doing now, almost 4 years or even 5, I think. And that's the most important in our life. The all what is immortal, and not what is temporary, and that we will anyhow have to live here sooner or later. And even the people who die, the memory stays. Some people are forgotten because they were insignificant, or because the survivors don't want to think about, or whatever. And some people are unforgettable. You have some people, we talked about Socrates, we talk about Jesus, about a lot of other from all the religions and so on. Why do we remember them? Because they have really brought huge added value to us, to understand laws of nature, and to work to become better, and to go slowly but surely towards happiness. So it's very simple. So again, what are we waiting for? Let's go and do it. Let's go and do our best.
That's it. So simple. My dear Silvia, your wrap up message.
Yes, it was very interesting, the talk today, because then we ourselves have to stop and think about things. So, coming towards the end of the year, towards Christmas, and we as spiritists, we are Christians, and to remember that what the coming of Christ meant to the life of humanity, the lessons that he brought of forgiveness, of love of God, and love of your neighbor, the question of forgive others. And it's very, very special time of the year. We know, according to Joanna de Angelis, the spirit of Joanna de Angelis says this time of the year is a time with a lot of spiritual benefactors, angels coming to the earth. And it's a time of that, people have peace. And they have that very interesting story, isn't it, during the First World War, that for the Christmas day, the both sides of the fighting, they stop and play football and everything. So this is a time of peace, is a time of love, is a time of giving and really trying to do our best. So I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, a blessed time, and may God bless and protect us all, because there are many difficulties we have to overcome. But I think if we have faith, if we have the strength, we can't change the world, but we can change the world around us, and we can change ourselves. Andrea Luis says, if you change your mind, a change of mind is a change of life. So this maybe is a new opportunity for us to do that and think peace and love and act in a peaceful way within our own lives. Then we can spread out. So, blessings to everyone. So that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Let's go to our announcements.
What about you, Stevan? What's
Me,
your message? Yes, you have to
my,
have a message too.
my message is um, I already gave is keep working. Do not give up. It is difficult. It is. Some days gonna work. Some days won't work at all. But never give up. Never. That's my message.
That's good. That's a good message.
Yeah.
Rely
Okay.
on your friends, isn't it? It's like that song. Rely on your friends when you cannot do alone. Rely on your friends to help you.
Exactly.
And yeah, and never give up. That's true.
Got a friend. The
Yeah.
music.
I'm overwhelmed because I have three good friends here.
Yeah. And they
Okay.
have you.
Okay. Let's go to our announcements. So next week we have Rodrigo, and the topic is Christmas spirit beyond the rituals towards service and love at 7 p.m. 9 p.m. London time. Every Saturday we do have the Mediums book study at 10:30 a.m. with Munir, Charles, and Guilherme. Oh, this is I forgot to remove this. So next year we will our UK series will go. We will talk about our dear Marlene Aubrey. So 12 speakers, 12 people talking about her, which is amazing.
Okay.
I can't wait to see
Wrap
it.
up the year of Ernesto Bozano, Steven.
Yeah, yeah. We haven't we finished now in Bolzano, and in January we start with Marlene. So keep reading Kardec Spiritism magazine. It's free. Please just go and download your free sample, and you can read it. So if you're interested in visiting or seeing or talk more about the Spiritism, here you have the Buzz website, Irish Spiritist Federation website, and the movement Francophone movement
Spirit
France.
francophone.
So you can go to these websites, and for sure you will find a spirit center or someone who can help you near to your home. So just go there and visit. And thank you, Kardec Radio, for the space, for the opportunity to be here, spreading all over the world what we believe, what we learned from the Spiritism, from the spirits, and sharing with you all. This is it from me. And I want to say thank you, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Okay?
God bless
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Elsa. Thank you, Silvia. Thank you so much.